Here are 25 of the hottest board games you can play on Nintendo Switch right now, and trust me, this list has something for everyone.
Starting off with number 1, Catan is still one of the most searched board game titles on the internet, and for good reason. This is the game that introduced millions of people to modern strategy gaming. You collect resources, build roads and settlements, and trade your way to victory. The Switch port includes all the major expansions and solid AI opponents, so even solo play feels genuinely competitive. If you have never tried Catan, this is where you start.
Coming in at number 2, Ticket to Ride is the kind of game that looks relaxed on the surface, but quietly turns into a fierce competition around the mid-game. You are building train routes across a map, collecting color-coded cards, and trying to complete destination tickets before your opponents cut off your paths. The Switch version is smooth and well-optimized, supporting up to 5 players locally or online. It runs about 30 to 60 minutes per session, making it one of the most accessible strategy games on the platform. Taking the 3rd spot, Carcassonne is a tile-laying classic that somehow never gets old no matter how many times you play it. Each session is different because the board is literally built from scratch every time, one tile at a time. You place meeples on cities, roads, and farms to score points, and the decisions stack up quickly. The digital version handles all the rules automatically, so you spend more time on strategy than on bookkeeping. A perfect pick for anyone who wants something smart but not overwhelming. Game number 4 is Wingspan, and this one has a reputation for being one of the most beautifully designed board games ever made. You build an engine of bird cards across 3 habitat zones, collecting eggs and food to attract more species. The depth here is real, but the learning curve is gentle enough that most players get comfortable after 1 or 2 games. The digital version even includes recorded real bird calls for each card, which makes the whole experience feel genuinely immersive and polished beyond what you would expect. Next up at number 5 is Pandemic, one of the best cooperative board games ever created, and still massively popular in 2026. You and your team of specialists work together to stop 4 diseases from spreading across the globe before you run out of time or resources. Every decision is tense, every outbreak threatens the whole plan, and losing actually feels meaningful. The Switch port handles the rule set well and includes solo play, which is surprisingly gripping. This one is great for people who prefer working together instead of competing against each other. At number 6, Monopoly for Nintendo Switch is the classic property trading game that basically everyone already knows, now with a polished digital presentation and multiple house rule options. The Switch version supports local and online multiplayer, lets you speed up slow AI turns, and includes custom rule settings so you can play the way your family always did growing up. It may be a love it or hate it title for longtime fans, but for casual players and younger audiences, this remains one of the most recognizable and accessible games on the eShop. Landing at number 7, Uno needs no introduction. This card game has been a party staple for decades, and the Switch version translates that energy perfectly. You play numbered and action cards to clear your hand before your opponents, and the chaos that comes from stacking draw 4s and reverses never stops being funny in a group setting. The game supports local and online multiplayer with voice chat compatibility, and the quick round structure means you can squeeze in a match almost anywhere. A no-brainer purchase for anyone who plays with friends or family. At number 8, Mario Party Superstars brings back beloved boards from the Nintendo 64 era, alongside classic minigames remastered in HD. It is a competitive party board game experience where luck and skill constantly interact, and no match ever plays out exactly the same way. Online multiplayer works well here, which is a big deal for fans who want to play with friends remotely. The minigame collection alone makes it worth the entry price, and the familiar characters and boards give it a level of nostalgia that few other party titles can match. Taking the number 9 position, Super Mario Party Jamboree is the most content-rich Mario Party entry on Switch and probably the best one to start with if you are new to the series. It packs in more boards, more minigames, and more modes than any previous installment, including a cooperative mode that is great for younger players. The overall presentation is bright and polished, and the pacing of a full match sits comfortably in the 45 to 60-minute range. It is currently one of the most popular multiplayer titles on the entire Nintendo Switch catalog.
Coming in at number 10, LEGO Party is a newer addition to the digital party board game space, and one that works really well for families with younger kids. Released in late 2025, it uses the LEGO brand to deliver colorful boards, simple mini-games, and a friendly tone that keeps everyone engaged without overwhelming anyone. The mechanics are lighter than Mario Party, but the production quality is high, and the LEGO aesthetic gives it a distinctive look. It fills a clear gap for players who want something fun, low pressure, and immediately accessible without a long learning curve. At number 11, Splendor is a gem trading and engine building game that runs beautifully on Switch and delivers real strategic depth in a very short play window. You collect colored gem tokens to purchase development cards, building towards a tableau that generates passive income and pushes you towards the points needed to win. Games typically finish in around 30 minutes, which makes it one of the fastest mid-weight strategy experiences on the platform. The AI offers a solid challenge, and the online multiplayer is clean and responsive. A fantastic pick for players who want something smart and quick. Taking the number 12 spot, Armello is a digital board game and RPG hybrid that stands out from everything else on this list. You choose a hero animal character and navigate a gorgeous hand-illustrated fantasy kingdom using cards, dice, and political maneuvering to claim the throne. There are multiple victory conditions, which means the strategy shifts dramatically depending on what your opponents are doing. The production values are genuinely impressive, and the game supports both local and online multiplayer. It feels like a proper premium experience and consistently receives praise from board game and RPG fans alike. At number 13, Scrabble brings the all-time classic word game to Switch in a well-executed digital package. You build words on a tile grid, scoring points based on letter values and premium board squares, competing against friends or AI opponents across multiple difficulty settings. The digital version removes setup time entirely and handles scoring automatically, which keeps the focus on vocabulary and board strategy. It is a household name for a reason, and the Switch port gives it a clean, modern interface without losing any of the charm that made the original board game famous worldwide. Landing at number 14, Azul is a visually striking tile drafting game where you build a mosaic pattern wall while managing a factory display of colorful tiles. The strategy comes from choosing which tiles to take and which to leave for your opponents, since unplaced tiles at the end of each round cost you points. It is elegant, easy to learn in one sitting, and genuinely satisfying to play. The Switch version is one of the cleanest digital adaptations of any tabletop game on the platform, with a smooth interface and reliable online multiplayer, one of the most stylish games in this entire lineup. At number 15, Slay the Spire is technically a roguelike deck-building game, but its turn-based card-driven structure makes it feel right at home in the board game space. You build a deck run by run, combining cards and relics to create powerful synergies as you climb toward the top of the spire. No two runs are the same, and the strategy ceiling is extremely high once you understand the card interactions. It is one of the most critically acclaimed games on the Switch eShop and continues to be actively played by a huge audience in 2026, essential for fans of thoughtful card-based gameplay. Taking the 16th position, Betrayal at House on the Hill delivers a horror-themed board game experience that unfolds differently every time you play. The first half involves exploring a haunted mansion together, placing room tiles as you go, and the second half triggers a haunt event that usually turns one player into a traitor with a specific win condition. The Switch version includes a large library of haunts and supports up to 6 players locally. If your group enjoys narrative-driven, slightly chaotic gameplay with a strong thematic atmosphere, this one consistently delivers memorable sessions. At number 17, For the King is a roguelike RPG that plays out on a hexagonal board with strong tabletop game energy throughout. You and up to 2 friends make strategic decisions about where to travel, which quests to pursue, and how to handle turn-based combat encounters. Permadeath is in effect, so every run demands careful planning. The art style is charming, the difficulty is real, and the cooperative element keeps things fresh across many sessions. It is a bit different from the rest of this list, but absolutely fits the spirit of a great board game experience on Switch. Coming in at number 18, Root is one of the most acclaimed asymmetric board games in the hobby space right now, and the Switch port delivers that experience faithfully. Each faction plays by completely different rules, which means the game feels new every time, depending on which combination of factions is active. The Marquis de Cat builds industrial infrastructure, the Eyrie dynasties follow a strict decree, and the Woodland Alliance foments rebellion from below. The learning curve is steep, but the depth is extraordinary. Highly recommended for players who want genuine strategic variety across every single game. At number 19, Gloomhaven is a massive dungeon-crawling board game converted into a deep and rewarding digital experience on Switch. You lead a party of mercenaries through a persistent campaign of tactical combat missions, leveling up your characters and unlocking new cards and abilities along the way. The complexity here is substantial, so expect a real-time investment, but the payoff for players who enjoy deep tactical gameplay is enormous. It is one of the highest-rated board games of all time, and the digital version makes the whole experience significantly more manageable than the physical version. Taking the 20th spot, Terraforming Mars is an engine-building strategy game where you play as a corporation competing to make Mars habitable through temperature, oxygen, and ocean tile placement. You manage resources across multiple tracks while playing project cards that interact with each other in interesting ways. The depth is comparable to some of the heaviest games on this list, but the theme makes it compelling even for players new to economic strategy games. The Switch version runs smoothly and includes online multiplayer, which works well given how much thought goes into each individual turn. At number 21, Yu-Gi-Oh! Legacy of the Duelist Link Evolution is the most complete digital Yu-Gi-Oh! Card game experience available on Nintendo Switch. It covers duels from across the entire anime series timeline and includes thousands of cards for deck construction. If you grew up watching the show or collecting the physical cards, this one hits hard with nostalgia, while also offering genuine competitive depth for new players. The campaign mode is long and well-structured, and the card pool is large enough that building interesting decks never feels repetitive. A standout card game title in this lineup. Coming in at number 22, Chess Ultra is the definitive digital chess experience on Switch, featuring stunning 4K-ready visuals, a competitive AI with multiple difficulty levels, and full online multiplayer with a working ranking system. If you want to learn chess properly or sharpen your skills, the in-game tutorials and puzzle challenges give you clear, structured progression. The interface is clean, the presentation is beautiful, and the game runs without any performance issues. Chess is one of the most searched strategy game terms on the internet globally, and this version gives you exactly what you would expect from a premium adaptation. At number 23, Patchwork is a two-player abstract puzzle game where you and your opponent compete to build the most efficient patchwork quilt on a personal board. You purchase irregularly shaped fabric pieces using time and buttons as currencies, and the spatial challenge of fitting pieces together without leaving too many gaps is surprisingly deep. It plays in about 20 to 30 minutes per session, making it one of the fastest satisfying games on this list. If you have someone to play locally or online, this one consistently delivers tight, engaging sessions with just the right amount of competition. Taking the 24th spot, King of Tokyo puts you in control of a giant monster competing to dominate the city of Tokyo through dice rolling, card purchasing, and combat. You roll 6 dice up to 3 times per turn, locking in energy, hearts, claws, and lightning bolt symbols to attack, heal, and buy powerful evolution cards. The luck element is high, but the card powers and positional strategy keep the decisions interesting throughout. It supports up to 6 players, moves quickly, and creates the kind of chaotic fun that is genuinely hard to replicate in more serious strategy games. Rounding out the list at number 25, 51 Worldwide Games is one of the most unique game collections ever released on a Nintendo platform. It includes 51 authentic tabletop, card, and board games from around the world, covering everything from chess and mahjong to darts and Mancala, all in a single package. Each game has its own tutorial and can be played locally or online with friends. The variety is unmatched, and the presentation is clean and educational. Whether you play for 5 minutes or 5 hours, this collection always has something worth trying next.